Ladies and gentlemen, good day to you anywhere you're listening. I am Jamie Oladeye. I'm a market analyst, and this week is another fantastic opportunity to see what the market is doing. And this is powered by FX Pro. Right here for this week, for the April 27th to May 2nd, for this particular week, we're looking at the market from different perspective. And of course, we're starting with the fundamental outlook from the forexfactory.com. And on Monday, 28th of April, we'll look at what the market will do till Friday, May 2nd, to see what opportunities lies in the market for every trader. Starting from the fundamental outlook, focusing on the high impact news, we have the red folder coming up all day for 28th of April on Canadian dollar, which is the federal election. And this will definitely add a lot to do with Canadian dollar pair. On Tuesday, all day long, we have Japanese yen or bank holiday, and 3 p.m. Nigerian time, we have USD coming up on the JOLTS job openings. On Wednesday, we have the 2:30 a.m. Nigerian time for AUD and Chinese yuan, coming up with CPI on AUD quarterly by quarter and yearly by yearly. And this forecast has been on 7.48 for the CPI quarter by quarter, and the actual is unknown yet. And this also has a way of impacting the market, and AUD pairs should be really traded with caution on this particular day. And all day long for the euro, we have the German prelim coming up on the CPI monthly by monthly. We have the USD coming up 1:15 p.m. Nigerian time, Canadian dollar and US dollar coming up again 1:30 p.m. Nigerian time, and GDP. The Canadian dollar is focusing on the GDP monthly by monthly, and this is what we have for this day. On Thursday, we have most of the high impact news on bank holidays. Bank holidays eating the Chinese yuan and Swiss franc and euro, and that is the Italian bank holiday, German bank holiday, and French bank holiday. But for the Japanese yen, we have a tentative outlook on BOJ outlook report, and also we have red folder coming up on the JPY for this particular day as well, which is the monetary policy statement. So US dollar coming up 1:30 p.m. Nigerian time and 3 p.m. Nigerian time on unemployment claims and ISM manufacturing PMI consecutively. The last trading day of the week, which is Friday all day long, we have Chinese yuan having bank holiday and the US dollar coming up with impact news on average hourly earnings by 1:30 p.m. Nigerian time. Non-farm payroll, non-farm employment change is also coming up 1:30 p.m. Nigerian time, May the first Friday of the month. So we should be careful. These are news that has the tendency to be volatile in the market. And jumping straight into the fundamental that we have for this week, let's see what we have here. From the fundamental outlook of the business, looking at what the market has done over the week. Last week analysis, we had this that expecting the market to move in this direction before hitting this previous low and the rest of that. Okay, so that played out exactly as we have analyzed it. That really played out. So basically, I'm going to wipe everything I have for the last week. Then we start all over for this week again. Okay, that's how we go. So this is showing bearish momentum on DXY, and this is massive bearish momentum. And when you look at it from this perspective, it's more or less like the momentum on the USD index is really dropping. And focusing on that, we know a lot have happened in the fundamental space with the President Donald Trump, with the tariff war, with the trade war going on with China and other countries. And all of this has impacted the market in a particular way. Okay. So this particular one was that of July 2023 low, which was here. The market has taken it out completely. Can you see that? Okay, and also we have another low right here. This was last year low, September 2024. The market has also done what? The market has also taken it out. So basically what we have here is more of a bearish momentum. But when we look at something like this, I'm coming, let me see if we have that 12 months. Let's say the 12 months, which is yearly by yearly, right? So when we look at that from this perspective, I think I shared this like a month ago thereabout. When you look at this, this is a bullish imbalance for this price level right here. From this year 2021 to 2023, we have a bullish imbalance right here, which means for this month or for this year, the market has actually tapped into that yearly imbalance of 2021 candle and 2023 candle. And currently it has hit below the threshold of that fair value gap zone. So which means if we see buying momentum from here, it is not really far from what we should be expecting. But ideally, how long will this be? We need to go to a lower time frame to further see what this mean. But in actual fact, we see a reason why the price is pulling out from this price range. Going to the monthly time frame, we can tell that the market is actually creating series of lower lows over the time, but now it has gotten to a price level, which this zone is the yearly fair value gap zone, which is a bullish one. And currently the market pulled about 70% of that, or 60% of that, now pulling back away from that zone. Will this continue to buy? If this level is invalidated, yes, I will be shifting my buyers into buy. And most likely this will happen because of what the fundamental space is looking like, what President Donald Trump is saying. If he cuts down tariffs on some countries and there is so much confidence in the USD treasuries again, investors definitely are going to invest in US treasuries, and US index will pick up again, and that will be a buy for DXY. And that means EURUSD will be selling, crypto pounds will be selling. So this is how we interpret all of this. But then let's go to the weekly time frame. I don't want to bore you with the fundamental talk, but let's go to the weekly time frame and see how this works out. So on the weekly time frame, as we can see, there is an opportunity for us to say that we have a fair value gap right here. And this fair value gap, I'm going to take out this one, okay? The fair value gap we have above here is the weekly fair value gap, whereby we can expect the price of the market to get in here and dump from there. All right, so that means on the weekly time frame we can expect more bullish momentum after this rejection here to get into this price range, which would be at what price level? We can expect that to happen at 100.86. The market tapping into 100.86 or filling the entire zone before dropping. So this would be the outlook for me on DXY weekly time frame. Going to the daily time frame, let's further see if this look alike. Focusing on the beautiful movement we had for last week, we saw that there was no any opportunity to see a fair value gap zone where we could trade into. So right here, if we look at this market from a perspective, we look at the chart from this perspective, you'll see that the price is more or less being trapped within this range right here. Okay, but then we're not going to be trapped with all of this. We have better ideas. We can wait for the higher time frame to play out just like this before we start selling out. So this is what I'll be looking for on the daily time frame, because the daily time frame is leaving us with no much opportunities here. We've seen a low price level. We've seen this. All right. We've seen our market has grabbed below it, grab liquidity, closing just above the same line right here. So that means we can be expecting the market to still do a bit of bullish momentum. That is if the market is actually not gapping at the opening of the market for the week. All right, let's go to the 4 time frame. Let's further see more insight on that. I'm going to take out this. And on 4 time frame, look at what we have. So the market has been choppy all along. We can see this. I said more or less the market is being choked within a price range. And of course, what are we going to do with that? I will rely basically on what the outlook looks like for me on the higher time frame. So my vibe and energy remains the same on the higher time frame to wait for the market to pull back into this price zone, into this price range, before I'm going to see opportunity for a bearish momentum on DXY. So that is that on DXY. Let's go straight to the Euro US dollar. Let's see what we have in there. On the Euro US dollar, look at this on the monthly time frame. Let's look at what we have. The market actually broke the previous high of 2022. It invalidated it. We've analyzed this before. We waited for this zone. I marked this level 2 at a point that this is one of the levels we can be looking out for. And of course, I marked this zone that we can look for how this level will be broken. The market reacts by bearish movement and all of that. So this happened. And for the past 3 months, it's been on a bullish momentum and it has broken the previous high. All of this level inducement here has been taken out. So what next in this market? Let's go to the lower time frame or weekly. Let's see what we have. On the weekly time frame, look at this. This is beautiful to see. Let me just take out everything we have here. So we start afresh. Okay, I'm taking this out too. So right here, we have this opportunity in the market. We look at it differently, but the better we look and the better we see, the better money we make from the market. Okay, so looking at that, the bullish candlestick here for the week and the bullish one, and this was the last 3 candle, ended as a bearish candle because it has gotten to a price level that suggested a rejection at that price range, which is very okay. But currently, what we're looking at here is we've had a series of candlesticks formation pattern that left us with a bullish imbalance price level right here. So basically, I'm going to be expecting the price of this market to get down to 1.12028 before I can see more potential opportunity in this market, whereby I'm expecting the price of the market to do something like this to take out this high before we have more potential reactions in the market. This is based on technicals, okay? This is really based on technical outlook, because if this happens, then we can be looking at the market from this perspective. So that is on weekly time frame for US dollar, for Euro US dollar. Let's go to the daily time frame. Let's see the opportunities we have on the daily time frame for this. The last trading day was actually not really much of momentum for last week Friday, and we can see that the market actually grabbed liquidity on Monday. Tuesday ended with bearish Aramic candlestick formation pattern. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, then this zone remains on tap, this zone remains untouched, so we can be expecting the market to get into this price range before we see an opportunity with what we can do in the market. So ideally, this is not leaving us with any information with much bullish momentum in the market. So ideally, we're just going to sit and wait for more bearish momentum right here. Okay, so basically this is what I'm looking out for. Let's go to the 4-hour time frame. On the 4-hour time frame, I'm looking at the market from this perspective. Looking at this, okay, there are not seamless to find, because we must have seen something on higher time frame that we really prepared us to see what we can be looking out for on the lower time frame. By the way, on the daily time frame, I think I saw something. On the daily time frame, look at this, look at this. On the daily time frame, from this price level to this price level is also a fair value gap zone, which is here, right? This is also a fair value gap zone. Allow me to remove this and I can leave this alone. Okay, so look at this perspective. This is also a very good point to look for liquidity in this market, whereby we can expect price to move into this range before it will sell into this range. Which price level are we talking about? This will be about 1.141 psychological zone. Okay, so this is the outlook here. I'll be expecting the market to do this, because this is also a very good point for us to see a bearish imbalance zone at this price level on the daily time frame. I'm going to the 4-hour time frame. From that perspective, therefore, it means we can refine this entry, whereby we have a series of movements right back and forth with wicks, creating zero fair value gap zone for us to look at for on the intraday opportunity. So definitely we're going to stick to what we have on the higher time frame. As this zone is closer than this zone, I will be waiting for a more of a buy to get into this price range at this price level before I see sell momentum in this market. So basically, this is my outlook on the Euro US dollar, and this is what I'll be expecting on Euro US dollar. So basically, this is just it. All right. So let's go to the Great Britain pounds USD. Let's see what we have there for the week, starting from the monthly time frame. And of course, I could have gone to the yearly time frame too, but to keep this very, very simple, we have no intention of complicating things, if you know me. So basically, this is what we have on the Great Britain pounds US dollar monthly time frame. For the past 3 months, it's been bullish, and at a point in time, we marked this price zone that this is where we're expecting the price to get to in the future before we can see more reaction in the market. But look at it, it gets there a little bit more to get in there, and the price pulled out completely. So look at that, the price pulled out completely, so which means the price has not really done what we're expecting it to do, as it has done it on Euro USD. But however, this now looks bearish in the market because of this rejection that we've analyzed and we've waited for over the time. So let's go to the weekly time frame to see more opportunities on how this can play out. Now, the price level here is the supply zone where the market is actually selling off for some times now. Over 100 pips has been sold off from the time it got to this price level, and we can tell I've been talking about this as a swing, that this leg will be completed. I've been talking about that for quite a number of times now, for some months now, since the beginning of this year. All right, and look at this January. Okay, I've been talking about how this level can be fully moved and and mitigated in the market. So that has happened. But then let's see something else. Let's see something else. On this price range, definitely we're looking at the market. See, it also created a bullish fair value gap zone right here. And with this outlook, therefore, what are we expecting is to see how the market will find its way into this price range and continue for a buy momentum if everything remains the same with a fundamental issue that we have. So currently 1.3189 is where I can be expecting the price to get into in the future, 1.3190 regardless. So this is what I would just be expecting for for the market to do, for the price to do. I'll wait patiently for when the market will do this. This will give me more confidence to follow the price in this direction, retaining these same buyers. Looking at the market from this perspective, this is what I have right here, okay? But then I will be expecting a bit of that sell momentum after this massive bullish momentum before I can have more reaction in the market. So that being said, on the daily time frame for Great Britain pounds US dollar, going to the daily time frame, what we're seeing here is on daily, the market has actually been a very ranging one. Okay, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, fantastic range right here, and the market has not gotten into the weekly range. So I am looking at the market from a perspective that Monday, Tuesday can just give us the opportunity to sell into the range. Then we can see more buying from there. But ideally, this is a typical ranging market. We can't do much with this. Okay, we can't really do much with this. And let's go to the 4-hour time frame. Let's see what we have. On the 4 hours here, we have the opportunity to see plenty ranging markets. Of course, this is ranging a lot, a whole lot. Okay, this is ranging a whole lot. But then, is there an opportunity for us to see if there is a favorable gap zone where markets will likely move into in the nearest future? Not at all. We do not have it, because the one that we had right here, the price filled into it like that, just like that. The one that we have right here, the price filled into it too. Like we have another one here, the market has filled into it. So basically, every level we have has already been filled in the market. So ideally, this is not leaving us with any favorable gap zone right here we can work with, but we can still see the market clearly that is creating a shift from this level of failure swing, and we have a level right here which also matters. We're waiting for the market to get below this price level, to close below here, and then if the market invalidate that movement just like this, we'll be expecting more sell momentum on this particular price level. So basically, this will be my outlook on 4-hour time frame for Great Britain pounds US dollar. And of course, if everything change and President Donald Trump starts saying good things about US dollar, then we can expect this to actually sell. Okay, otherwise, if it remains the way it is, and a lot of people, a lot of investors are putting their money in safe havens like gold, then we can expect more bullish energy on Great Britain pounds US dollars. All right, that's that on GU, and let's go straight to the next one where we have the Australian dollars. And taking that from the monthly time frame, let's see what we have in there. On the AUD, we have a massive gain for this month. It ended bullish already, and we still have a few days to go though. But then this is an impressive one, because this market actually, AUD US dollar has been behaving in a way that is very funny in fact in the previous time. But then it took out the low of the year. Okay, this year is low of that was February. The price took it out this month, and it did that by actually moving below it by about 200 pips on average. Now the market retraced all of that and took back every of those, and then the market has done about 500 pips on average currently. And with that outlook, therefore, it has taken out the last month high right here. So it's about that area. We're taking it out already though. So what we're expecting now on the AUD US dollar monthly time frame is more bullish energy based on what the price is saying. Okay, so the fair value gap zone we had here the last time has been filled in the month of March, right? This month of March, filled again in April. Now the month of April has filled into that zone. So month of February filled into the fair value gap zone to sell. Month of March filled into it to sell, and currently the month of April has already filled into it with strong bullish momentum, and this is still going on. So let's check what will happen on the weekly time frame. Let's see the opportunity we have on the weekly time frame here. Is there an opportunity for us to continue buying just like that? Yes, but there is also an opportunity for us to witness a sell momentum in the market before we experience more buying momentum. From this price level, like right here, we can see the market to do something like this. We can expect the market to do something like this, all right? This is based on what the chart is saying at 0.6325. We can expect the market to sell into the price range, and we can see more sell from there. So basically, I will not be tying down myself to what I think in the market. I'll be working with what I'm saying in the market, what the market is doing. Okay, because this looks more like a beautiful stop hunt, and this level has been claimed and momentum has been grabbed towards the upside. The previous low level flat highs has been taken out. Now What are we waiting for? More bullish momentum to the upside, really. For then, let's gather some momentum while it grab liquidity from a lower price range. The discounted price range here will give more opportunity to see more strong bullish buyers. So this is what my outlook will look like on the AUD US dollar weekly time frame. Okay, going to the daily time frame on this currency pair, let's see what we have right here. On the daily, this is looking like we're going to see more sell before we buy. So that ideally is because for the last previous days, for the last week, we do not have much events. It was the ranging one, okay? Ranging. But ideally, we have all of these lower highs, lower highs, lower highs. Is just to tell us that the market is dropping that momentum. So with this now, I will stick with what I've seen on the weekly time frame, which is a sell before a buy. So I'm going to still expect more sell from this price level to this level before I continue to look for a buy opportunity. On 4 time frame, we're going to look at this from the perspective. This is also a ranging market. I really do not like ranging zone like that because it tends to do it, overdo it, and sometimes it's not just really clear. So with this now, I'm just going to sit down with what I have on the lower on the higher time frame rather. I will sit with what I have on the higher time frame. This looks too shady. I think it's fine like this. Okay, so this is what I'll be looking at. This is what I'll be looking like. Okay, so this is AUD US dollar on 4 time frame. This is good, but I'll be expecting my bias remains bearish. Okay, my bias remains bearish. Look at this price zone here. Look at something like this here. Okay, look at something like this. All right, so I can easily be waiting for the market to tap into this range. Okay, waiting for the market to tap into this range for intraday opportunities, intraday traders. I'm waiting for the market to easily tap into this range. This will be easier for me. Okay. So basically, my bias on this remains bearish before bullish momentum, and I put the price right there. All right. So let's go to the next one. Let's see what we have on USDJPY. I think if you know why we talked about it. God, I talked about this for some times. The last time I talked about this, it was when I was anticipating the price of this market to create an energy like this into this price range, and currently it has done about 400 pips, or yeah, about 400 pips on average. Look at what I was expecting, 1400. What price level is this? 140 something. Okay, I think it's almost there. All right, so at the point in time, this is what I was expecting in this market, and it has tapped into it. All right, if you check one of the previous videos I recorded that I analyzed those pairs, you will see there where I talked about this. So this is not an hindsight form of analysis. We've thought about these things before now, and it's playing out currently. So that's a good one. Going to the monthly time frame, what we're saying is the market had an opportunity. Okay, this is the monthly time frame here. The market had an opportunity to really move this way. For the past 4 months, it's been bearish. This was the last candle we had before this failure swing. And this is also a very good spot for us to look for an opportunity to start buying. Now, look at this from this perspective. We look at the market from that perspective and coming. You see the market has tapped into that price range. All right. The market has tapped into this price range here. And when I did that, I was expecting the threshold to be mitigated. So that has happened. And of course, now we see a buy happening. Let's go to a lower time frame to further see that. And currently, we see how the market is actually moving in this direction now. You can see that. So I would love to bring back all the items I removed before now, just to make it simple. And so just I'm coming to just bring everything back home. Okay. Okay, this is it here. So going to the weekly time frame, this analysis remains the same. So no need of repeating the words. We'll be expecting this is the weekly time frame. So the market is actually there. So I think this was the week I recorded this and I waited for the market to do this, or this particular week. I think so. So last week it happened, the market has gotten into that price range and it has bought away. And currently this is a strong momentum with this kind of candle from this demand zone, then we can expect more bullish momentum in the market. And this is also expected to take out this high level right here in the future. So if it goes well for USD, US dollars index, then we can see this momentum to actually do this. All right. So this is what I'll be expecting on the weekly time frame on USDJPY. If the tariff wars, the trade war going on between the President Donald Trump and other countries, if there's something good positive about USD, like cutting some of those or reducing or suspending the tariffs on some countries and all of that, we can see good energy on USDJPY, it could give us that sweet buy. Otherwise, we can have scenario whereby it's going to take out everything that's done here, retrace this level, and then we'll experience more bearish momentum to fill these legs. But currently, I'm going to sit with the buy because this is also an extremely setup for itself. You can see this is a cycle. Market has completed this too. So I can wait for buy opportunities here. On the daily time frame, let's see what we have. On the daily, after this has completed, the daily time frame left us with no idea of what we should be doing with a bearish momentum right now, rather than we should be looking for a bullish momentum because we do not have much thing going on here. So let me take out this guy. Let me take out this guy. What we have was a bearish momentum here. Look at this. This is where we can have a bearish momentum. So if we think we do not have any bearish momentum, I think we can look at the chart again and take a second look at what the price is showing. All right, this is on a daily time frame though, so we can look at the market with this. This is about 183 pips, which I do not think the market is going to do. I do not think the market is going to tap into this price range, but depending on the fundamental. But if price have to, then it will be. So if that should be the case, we are looking forward to a buy momentum on USDJPY, and this is the first target. The upper price level is the second target. So we can be waiting for the price of the market to do just this week. All right, and this is the second target right here. Okay, this is a daily time frame. We do not have much going on there, and it looks very simple. So I wanted to trade with caution. I wanted to really trade this with caution. Okay, so we can buy till when we have the opportunity to sell off in the future. So looking at this now, looking at wait, I'm looking at something just like that. So it is very possible that we look at the market from this perspective. And of course, wait, on the weekly time frame, let's say I think we have an opportunity to see a bearish momentum on the weekly time frame. I forgot to talk about it. I remember I saw it not quite long. This is it here. Okay, look at this one. This is it here. From this price level, right to this price level, this is it here. This is a bearish fair value gap zone that we can wait for the market to get into. So this is just about how many pips there? This is about 73 pips into the range. So on the weekly time frame, we can expect this to happen. We can expect this to happen. So going back to the daily time frame, the opportunity we have for this momentum for a buy, I think that also makes sense on a monthly time frame, weekly time frame. But at the same time, on that same weekly time frame, we have a bearish signal right here. So which means the market could just buy about 78 or 90 pips into this price range before we see a sell momentum. This is also possible in this market. So this is the long term, this is the short term, and we should know how to work around those two. This is a long term and this is a short term. So on 4 hour time frame, let's see what the market will do. And right here, on 4 hour time frame, this is what we have. So it is very, very possible for us to have this in the market. And of course, we have a lower price level where liquidity can also be grabbed in the future, which is also a fair value gap zone right here. All right. So with this now, we can also expect the market to do a bit of buy before it sells. This is about 45 pips on average. Now we have so many opportunities. The kind of trader you have will determine where your entry is. But ideally, we should know the buyers we're following. We are not buying or selling. No, we are following a particular buyers based on what we see in the market. If you're looking at this from this perspective, this looks more bullish. Like after everything, we can wait for the market to get in here and buy till it gets here. Like it makes like a full circle of inverse head and shoulder. So we can just wait for the market. Sometimes it's better we wait for Monday to open and we see the closing of Monday candle before we have a full roadmap for the month for the week. But however, sometimes we have a setup that is clear enough to even carry us for the week when the Monday candlestick form regardless. So this is one of those times that we look at the market from different perspective. All right. So this is also a level we can see the market might get into here and we can pull out for a buy as well. So this is intraday opportunity. All right, this is also an intraday opportunity. So that is that. And what else? I think that's all. So I won't like to repeat anything I've said before. This is on weekly time frame. Let me just shade it somewhere else. I'm coming. This is on weekly time frame here. Okay, this is the long term. I'm taking it out. This is a 4 hour time frame. Fair value gap zone expected to hit here. This is a weekly time frame. Like this is the higher time frame to this. So I expect this to play out first or if the market will just move into this range, then we have a gallant sale for the week from this price level down here before we have more reaction. So you just know how to deal with this. It's going to make sense at the end of the week, I believe so. All right, so let's look at the gold. I think we spent some time here. Let's look at the gold. I've always said gold has been on a bullish ride for me ever since. So for this last week, I was expecting gold to hit this price level before it start buying. It happened. Okay, so let's go to the monthly time frame. Let's see everything we have. I'm going to wipe out everything we have on good before now. This remains strong. It remains strong, bullish momentum for me as it happens. And when the world is dumping US dollar and US treasuries, they move into safe havens like gold. That's what make gold to be very, very strong. And we've seen that happening time after time in the market. So basically, we're looking at this from this perspective, and then we can go to the weekly time frame on gold and see what the market is doing. Last week was fantastic one as markets rejected a price level of all-time high, and it did that by rejecting the price to about 1,800 pips for a particular week. Okay, this is just 1 week. And looking at that perspective so far, we can see the market has also created a bullish momentum energy right here, which is a fair value gap zone where the market could retrace into in the future before we can spot a buy. And also we have another price level, which is more immediate from this price range to this price range of the weekly time frame analysis. So looking at this perspective now, it is easier for us to look at the market from this perspective that we can see a sell on gold in this coming week before it will now hit the all-time high again. Gold can get in here before it go back to hit its all-time high. So I've always been a fan of that bullish momentum because that's what the world is saying. That's what the economy is pointing at, and it's more than an indication for those that could see it. So on the daily time frame, let's see what we can do. Not really much happening on the daily time frame on gold than expecting this sale to happen. All right, I'll be expecting this sale to happen before I take more bullish opportunities in this market. On the 4-hour time frame, the energy remains the same. We do not have much time to waste on what we've seen on higher time frame because this will be the roadmap for lower time frame movement. Okay, this energy has begun with a bullish momentum. Of course, smart money will always move differently, and we can expect this to still happen, waiting for the market to still come to hit this price zone before it continues the bullish momentum. But trust me, ideally, this has more bullish momentum right here that we expect the market to pull out. So basically, we can see the market can come back to hit this price level. And when the price does that, it does something like this and hit all-time high again, and markets move away very quickly. All right, this is the outlook for the week, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for watching. Try to like, subscribe, and I will see you again in the next video. God bless you and have a wonderful trading week ahead of you. Bye for now.